right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Hole Lotta Bogeys interview series. Today, we have a special guest. We're here with Jordan Lunetta, who is one of the co-founders of ODIN Golf. Jordan, why don't you jump right into it and talk a little bit about yourself and the company?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Rocking the Tim Hortons.
Oh, 100%. Always got the Timmies.
There we go. What are your guys' orders?
Dude, I do usually, I'm a black iced coffee every day. That's no matter how cold it is, I'll go iced coffee for sure.
I'm just hot coffee with a splash of milk. Nothing crazy. A couple old-fashioned plain donuts. Call me an old man, but it's the best donut on the menu.
I was gonna say I like the chocolate chip muffin too. Not too bad. What about you?
So I'm rocking some tea here, just to kind of get me through everything. But could use probably a couple pops, but I say that for the course.
Yeah, there you go.
100%.
For sure.
Are you guys playing right now, or is it just dead winter?
Oh yeah,
dead winter. Yeah, we're hoping to be able to actually get down south and sometime in March and go get a round in before we kick off our season up here, which is usually early to mid-April, depending on how the weather treats us. But
I was gonna say we're in a cool spot where we can drive like 3 hours south. And it'll be pretty warm, like starting in, like you said, March or even a little before April. You know what I mean?
Some golfable weather, not necessarily warm,
not ideal, but we can
swing the sticks in that.
We can, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, get your fix in. Whereabouts do you guys go?
For down south, we would be. It depends, honestly. We would probably try to make it as not far of a drive as we had to. So we'll probably start in the bottom half of Pennsylvania, see what the weather's looking like before we start the drive. And then we got to go further, work our way down through West Virginia, got to go to North Carolina. We've golfed in the Outer Banks before. That's a great time. I don't know if you've ever been down there, but there's a bunch of good courses worth checking out.
I haven't, but the East Coast, we have a lot of, a big part of our community on the East Coast, and been meaning to get out there. It seems like, for you guys, I think in your area, there's some great courses I heard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. And like you said, just to touch on the Outer Banks, golf in the Carolinas was awesome too. Yeah. That was a great place to go.
Yeah. Here we have pretty much, if we were to break up the style of courses into like traditional golf and then links, it's pretty much all traditional golf courses, pretty wooded areas around. Some will have wider fairways than others, but pretty standard stuff, maybe one or two links courses, couple par 3 courses. But hopefully, and we'll be showcasing a lot of those courses this summer and spring as well, doing some on-course content, which we did at the end of last fall. Started to get some good traction on the views for that. So definitely going to pick up where that left off. Do some simulator stuff now, but
yeah. We've been in touch with a good simulator place out here, Links Golf and Tap. So yeah, it's been good for sure.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, the sims are good. You can get the muscle memories because there's so many mechanics that you lose. Like there's been occasions where I wouldn't golf for 2 or 3 months. There's two sides to it. One, if you start fresh, like after 2 or 3 months, you don't remember the bad habits.
Yeah.
But then you quickly pick them back up. Like as soon as you get into it, you start like shitting the bed and like, oh, I'm overthinking it. And then the bad habits come back. So, but the sim's good because you can scratch the itch and then also get the golf experience, grub, pops, the camaraderie and all that stuff, content for you guys, especially.
Oh, 100%. I think the sims too, it's like you're saying with keeping yourself in tune. What you notice when you're in an area like this where you really are limited in how long you have for your golf season, we take 3, sometimes 3.5 months off from golf, and you don't want to lose that feel, and you really don't want to lose speed, and that's like the 2 main things I think that you're gonna lose because obviously, like you're saying, muscle memory and just like that consistency and feel. So being able to go out and swing is huge.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, in your golf swing, you use so many different muscles and different movements that you literally would never do before. We went to the simulator, I don't know when it was, a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't swung a golf club in a little bit. It had been about a month, and my neck was hurting the next day. My back hurt. You know what I mean? It's just like you use different things that you never use in daily life. So you definitely got to get back into it for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. How long have you guys been playing?
Oh, since we were kids, but I'd say consistently trying to really improve and work on the game, probably 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Just because, obviously growing up playing and everything, we were never really worried about score, how the swing was looking. It was just going out and having fun.
I was gonna say we played in like a junior league in our town.
When
You
we
know,
were
we're
like
like
13,
I was gonna say
12, 13.
just go out there, swing the sticks, kind of get introduced to the sport. Made our way through high school and college and whatnot. Now we're here, golfing a lot, like you said, trying to improve on our game and really, kind of taking it seriously. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love it.
What about you?
Yeah, I similar. Grew up. I started playing at 8, and then took 1 or 2 lessons. Grew up at the local muni, just with the local muni warriors. So complete opposite of kind of the country club thing. It was always a hobby, golf. I always did like other sports and other things. Was never good enough to make a go of it. And having a swing, I play between a 12 and a 14. Something like that. It's a get the job done swing, enough to have a good time, but not take it too seriously. So it's like a sweet spot. It's very good. I mean, if you take lessons and work on those little mechanics, of course, like you're probably going to have a better experience, but it's just the laziness of, I just want to go out, respite of daily life. And then obviously with the ODIN stuff and like you guys getting some content, playing the balls and shooting the shit with the community. So that's what is kind of the big thing. And then hole 19 after, maybe some karaoke, hit the dive, that sort of thing. Yeah, sing some Foreigner and Eddie Money.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Some Jesse's Girl, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and with lessons, I feel like too, it's one of those things that there's definitely some really good teachers out there, not like knocking lessons or anything, but you gotta devote a certain amount of time to lessons, not necessarily even playing the game, and I feel like that's one of the things people like forget is if you're gonna take like 1 or 2, you really got to take like 10 to 12. And that's like we personally, like we took lessons as kids, but now at this point in our life and the time that we have, it's really just go out, have fun, obviously, and play. And now we're obviously working on our swings, but it's all in-house, I would say. No outside lessons.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally. Yeah, there's no, I mean, as you guys know, there's no shortage of lessons content, and there's a lot of really great stuff out there. I always this personally found it hard. There's some stuff that you could translate to very easily and understand and grok from watching a reel or YouTube video. I always wondered how people take it to the next level to the course, like especially for the more complicated stuff. Like, hey, you take it back like here, and here's where your knee should be, and your hips, and the movement, that kind of stuff. I mean, do you guys have personal experience or know people who have actually taken a lot of this content and actually done it on the course, like more complicated thing, not like a grip adjustment necessarily, but the more complicated thing? I've always wondered how that translates and if people actually do that without a coach, that is, right?
Yeah, like in my personal experience, people have taken lessons and that aspect of everything. For the most part, I feel like a lot of people, when you get to that point where you're going to start actually thinking back to your lessons, maybe your game slipping in that round and everything, you're already so lost mentally that they're not worried about the little things. It's really just like at that point, I feel like trying to get the ball to the green and like catch back up. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I was gonna say the biggest thing that like I felt helped me in my like developing my swing is watching myself swing. For sure. Whether it's through the content we're doing with Hole Lotta Bogeys or just a random video, watching myself swing and like kind of being able to see the adjust like. And it's like you said, I'm not getting these from a lesson or anything, but maybe you hear something on Instagram or like, oh, try this with your backswing. Being able to watch myself swing has probably been the biggest beneficiary to me in my swing.
Yeah,
the development of it for sure.
Recording yourself and being able to play it back and fine tune stuff.
Watch it in slow motion.
Yeah, pick some of the nitpick it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure. Yeah, it's fascinating to see the progression of. Obviously, we're all digital natives and consuming things in cool and innovative ways. It's interesting to see the translation of the real life stuff, and golf is a great example of that. How that works on the course and that sort of thing. It's for you guys. What do you feel like is the next wave of golf content? I mean, there's pretty much something for everything, down to the food types of golf food to 1v1, 2v2. There's all sorts of that sort of thing. What do you guys feel like is the next wave of kind of cool stuff that people are doing because there's a confine you can do on a course, right? You can't do something outrageous. There's outrageous things you can do, but at the end of the day, it's a game and there's rules and a confine, of course. What do you guys? How do you guys think about that?
I would say just to not to align it too much with what we're doing, but kind of the niche that we're trying to find, honestly, is the whole like brand spotlight or personality spotlight, and eventually course spotlight when we get into the warmer months and we can get out and be face to face with a lot of these brands and people, and kind of just like classic business networking, but for the community in a sense, where you can put a name to and a face to a brand and kind of make it more personal and connect, which in turn will help not only the brand be successful, but then help just us amass our following that we're going for, to showcase then also our play videos and just the brands and courses that we want to work with and enjoy the stuff that they do.
Right. Yeah, like you said too, there's kind of a little bit of everything as far as out there as far as golf content goes, like on course challenges and things like that. But I think, we always say golf is a gear game, right? So we're talking to all these brands like you that are really cool, brands that we're interested in, different brands that we want to know more about. So we're kind of focusing on that too. I said, like you said too, getting out on the course with people like you would be awesome to kind of do an interview style like that, where we play and ask you some questions and, grab something to eat after or something. That would be really cool too. So different stuff like that we're trying to focus on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love what you guys are doing, and I think you guys are on the forefront of that as well, because there's so much boom during the pandemic, a lot of new brands. I mean, we started during the pandemic, but it's cool. Like there's something for everyone. There's no shortage of consumer choice, and it's really endless for you guys, especially, which I think is very cool. And also the different formats. Do you guys find for the pod, it seems like most people like to listen to pods, and less, if they're going to watch a video, it's going to be snippets of a pod. They may not watch the whole YouTube video. Is that what you guys find as well?
So that's another angle too, is that like, just not to say another example of another person, but one of our people that we've interviewed, Mac Boucher, a buddy of ours now, he is a really good example of somebody who's really prevalent on Instagram and kind of took the that platform to the full potential, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, he's known for Instagram Reels, short content, and we kind of wanted to put the full podcast out on YouTube and for people to watch and listen to after they might have seen 1, 2, 3 snippets from the episode, to draw them in and want them to learn more. But it also in turn helps with those short video clips that we post. They're going to get a lot more views, in the sense of it's a lot easier to keep somebody's attention for 20 seconds to a minute. And we've seen definitely a very good response with that, just in the sense of I would say, get at least 500, and some of the Mac Boucher interview clips got over 8,000, 10,000. So
nice.
Yeah, definitely. We've definitely seen shorter form content, or content like we'll take, 2 or 3 or however many clips from this podcast, make them reels, put them on TikTok and whatever. That content certainly does better, views wise and whatnot. And then, obviously, like Joe said, we're posting the whole podcast, and there's definitely people that watch the whole podcast too, which is nice for us, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So is this the full-time gig for you both, or?
So, yeah, I was going to say, this is actually doubles as our office for the 9 to 5 job where we work selling raw materials. It's like pretty much anything plastic you ever see. For example, the lid on this Tim Hortons cup has that little PS right there. Stands for polystyrene. We sell polystyrene, polypropylene, nylon,
bunch of different
anything plastic you've ever seen. It has to come from somebody who sells it in its smallest form for someone to melt down and put into something else.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That
must be an interesting gig.
For sure.
Yeah, I get to learn a little bit about the world, like supply chain and different things. Like, we sell the raw materials to people who, injection mold it and make, like Joe said, this cup for Tim Hortons or whatever it is, gun stocks or car bumpers or anything like that. Yeah.
Supply chain has been a bloodbath. I think it's getting better, but I'm sure you guys lived that. We lived it a little bit, but it was fun for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, just until recently, I would say, the past 4 to 5 months have been different, but we were battling material shortages like crazy. You know what I mean? There was nothing around, and now it's kind of the opposite. There's a lot of material around, and a lot of people have a lot of stock right now. But like I said, 4 to 5 months ago, for a long time, there was big shortages. Yeah, definitely. Well, so you said you experienced it a little bit. I'd definitely be interested to hear about that. Like, what were you short in some of the materials that you're using to manufacture, or what was that like?
There was a little bit of that. It was the big thing for us was the shipping times. So we have a manufacturing partner overseas, and getting stuff to. There was a time where ships were for like a month hovering around Long Beach, where we had our fulfillment starting in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a month of the ship hovering around the port. And then LA, that area is notoriously bad for traffic. So it was, in some cases, another 3 or 4 months on top of that once it got cycled through. This was during the pandemic, and I think there was like strikes, and there was people being overworked, and it was just a hotbed of things coming in. And obviously consumers were buying shit online. So there was that part. So the four of us who started Odin come from a software world. We built and scaled software companies. So it was a bit of a baptism by fire, working with, in this case, hardware, a ball, and going through that, which was pretty fascinating. We learned very quickly, have a lot of arrows on our backs now, but it's definitely subsided, things cycle through more. And I think that the market has a little bit of a correction too, and consumer spending and that sort of thing. So it's interesting to see the nuances of the consumer behavior, and then the implications of that from a business sense, and being able to balance the two. So luckily we've been able to manage it pretty well. I mean, we're earlier in our journey. If we were like I know like car manufacturers and dealers, like people were selling their kidneys to get a used BMW or something. It was like that was a little bit more on the higher end of the spectrum. But for us, it was learning, but it wasn't like terrible like a car dealership.
Yeah. Like you said, though, you guys probably learned a lot during that. You know what I mean? It was kind of a baptism by fire. You were dealing with all these different things, but now you probably feel like you can take on anything. You know what I mean? You got through all that. So that's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's running a business is 99% not glamorous. I mean, we get hit in the face all the time. I always have bags under my eyes. Sleep is probably very lacking, but that's just the path we chose. And it's an adrenaline rush and that sort of thing. Luckily, we've gone through it with previous companies, so we kind of know the gig. But it's always like every time we've done it, there's always something new. There's always a new set of challenges, and there are things that you can draw on, of course. But when you're building a company, it's really you own your own destiny. No one else is. I mean, for us, there's 4 of us. Like, it's kind of an eat what you kill thing. It's all in the execution. 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. Like you have to just go make it happen. And taking something from 0 to 1 is just, the highs are incredible, but the lows, and there's mostly lows, are like the worst thing you've ever felt in a lot of cases. Most of it's a mental game, of course. It's not like physical strain, which is interesting coming from a sports background, where it's like it's physical. You just kind of power through, like if you're lifting weights or something, or you're, in my case, swimming laps and playing water polo and going up and down the pool, beating the opponent. I mean, the opponent in a lot of ways is yourself. Like, there's business competition, but it's internal fortitude that you have to make things happen. And the other thing is bobbing and weaving. Like, things never end up the way you want in a lot of cases. Sometimes they do, but you have to just figure out, okay, what's the North Star we're going for here? What's kind of the true north as a business? Because it's very easy to get lost in the details. I'm sure you guys see this too. Like, there's KPIs and metrics that you want to hit, sales targets and customer onboarding and upsells and that sort of thing. But just the why, like, why are we doing this? Like Tim Hortons needs plastic because their cup, if they don't have toppers on their cups, people are going to spill their coffee. Or boxes for the donuts, like, they're going to get stale very quickly. Those are very, simple examples, but like that kind of thing, like, what's the perspective here? Like, what's the value we're delivering from a consumer standpoint? So that's always fascinating, like balancing all those things. And it's a bit insane. Like, people look at us and like, isn't golf a bloodbath? Like, it's super crowded. Like, there's 1,000 ball companies, 1,000 apps, 10,000 app hat companies, and like people can get anything they want always on, right, on their phones and that sort of thing. So it's and that's why, like, before we built it and we had the intention of doing the things and how we built it and what we were building and what was the wedge we wanted to carve out into the market and who we were building for, rather than just like, hey, this is fucking hot, let's jump in, is pandemic, oh, this is the only thing people can do. And there's part of that too. For a startup, like, you need the team, you need a product, you need market timing, you need a little bit of lightning in a bottle, you need all those things to align. And if you don't have at least one of those things, it just makes it a lot harder. I know, going through that like with the previous company, a couple of those things aligned, but the market, like, there was no market for it yet. So no one wanted it. It might have been valuable for them, but it was a vitamin, not a painkiller. They're like, okay, this is great, but I have 9 other pains that I want to solve, in the priority list. So, and that's the rub with consumer, because it's in a way, there is painkiller aspects to it, but it's a luxury in some sense too. Like, you don't need to go out onto the golf course and go play golf. This isn't like food delivery or ride sharing in a sense. There's elements of that, consumer elements. So it's a wild gig. It's fun, hard as hell, but I guess we wouldn't have it any other way.
For sure. Yeah, it's super interesting to hear about. Like you said, like you touched on quickly, like, people think, oh, there's 10,000 golf companies, you know what I mean? But you don't really realize all the work that is put behind, a company like yours, and all of the different stressors that you guys are under, all the problems that you're solving every day. You know what I mean? Sleep, you said, is non-existent for you guys. That's definitely, worth highlighting.
100%.
Something that people don't realize. Yeah.
So getting into bringing the balls to market, just to tell the viewers too, so you guys have an idea, we'll put them on the screen for you too. There's the 2 ball models out currently, the X and the X1. Do you want to go a little bit in depth about what the difference between those 2 balls are, maybe what type of player they're for?
Yeah, I'll give you maybe a little bit more of the backstory, and then we can get into the balls and the ball types.
Sure. Yeah.
So the 4 of us are from the software tech world, consumer tech, food delivery, ride sharing. So that was the lens in which we have, in which we're building ODIN. And we started on the course. The 4 of us are everyday golfers. We're not great between 12s and 25s. We were on the course one day in Berlin. There's 2 Germans on the team, 1 Brit, and then I'm the token expat with all the horrible jokes, the East Coast sarcasm that no one ever gets. We were on the course one day and we're donating to the lake and the forest, essentially just spraying marking material all over the track, emptying our bags out. And we looked at each other and we're like, well, this is like ridiculous. Why are we losing golf balls at brands that they're old, they're stuffy? They don't speak to us as 2 things. 1, the next generation of golfers. 2, the digital natives. Like, we're consuming golf in new and innovative and cool ways. Like, these brands don't speak to us at all.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we losing our own balls? So that was the seed crystal of the idea for ODIN. And we said, given our software background, where we're used to dealing with scale, in some cases millions of people that we're building for, we want to take ODIN to golfers around the globe. Like, we want to build a platform for the everyday golfer, not only a place for balls and gear, but also a place where we can gamify the experience for the everyday golfer. So essentially what those stuffy traditional brands did for the tour professional players, we want to do for you, the everyday golfer. And that also meant, coming out of the gate, we said, hey, we want to give everyday golfers, hit all the different everyday golfer types, player types, and give them high quality balls that you get from a traditional brand. But as we say, reload without the guilt. Like, you already spent a shit ton on golf. Like, there's no reason you should be spending 50 beans on a dozen. Like, that should be $34.99 if you want a tour level ball. And then, so that's our X1 ball, plays like a Pro V1 TP5 for $34.99. And then we have our Get Paid to Play Golf sponsorship on top of that, which we can get into.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely
And
around that.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. And then our X ball, which is 1999, that's a three layer ball. It's a extra distance ball with a soft core. And actually, most distance balls are only 2-piece, and they're like hitting rocks, and they're actually more expensive than that. So we very intentionally said those two ball types pretty much cover everyone. I mean, there's a small percentage of sticks who are like can mesh the ball in any way they want, and they're very finicky about things. But actually, we're building for most of the market. Like high 90% of people don't care, or they just don't know, or they're cool with this. So we were very intentional to say we want to be able to punch up in the weight class of those balls, but then price them, be very aggressive about the pricing. Because again, you're spending on green fees, which are at an all-time high. You're buying your wardrobe, clubs, which are incredibly expensive compared to what they were in the 90s or in 80s. And so that was our way. Like, use that $15, like go get a breakfast burrito and a bloody. Like,
there you go.
So before we came out of the gate, we were very intentional about the utility of it, and that's coming from the software world. Like, very selfish, because consumers are selfish. Like, we don't care. We have music, we have food delivery, we have dry cleaning, we have music, ride sharing at beck and call, like in a tap. So it's always like we're selfish. Like, we want it reels and fucking videos. It's all in our palm. So people, like, they don't care. Like, they want utility out of it. Like, and they have a very high bar. Like, if I'm going to do something, because again, there's no shortage of choice. I can go to 100 other places and get the same thing that I want selfishly. So that was what we were intentional about with how we did the balls. And we spent 9 months testing them ourselves and making sure that they fit that bar. And we launched in July 2021 and sold out within 3 months. So it exceeded our expectations there. So we were never another ball company. We view it as a platform for the everyday golfer. We just happen to come out of the gate with balls and check all those boxes that you would get from another brand that's been around 100 years or more in some cases.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's an interesting point you brought up about the whole like $50 price, point for that top of the line ball. I've definitely always thought in the back of my head, like, man, $50, like, can it be 40? Especially like you said, with everything in golf costs money, you know what I mean? From the green fees to the clubs to this and that, you know what I mean? You're spending money left and right. So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That you guys $34.99 for the top level. That's pretty good. Yeah, and for sure.
Hitting on the X model as well. You mentioned that third layer. I think that it's really keen to hit on for the viewers. That third layer makes a lot of a difference at a $20 price point ball. It's going to feel softer. It's going to be, you're not going to feel like you're hitting a glass rock. There's a lot of a quality difference, and it is a more expensive product at the $20 price point. Definitely worth a check
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we wanted to feel good, and then a lot of people like that because, especially for people who donate a lot, and they may prefer or they may do better with the X1, but they're like, I'm just out here to have a great time. This is my one time, away from work once a week. I get to meet the crew, drinking, get everyone together, playing music, having fun. The ball, like, this is great for me, and I can save some dough. I can, treat everyone to the first round on, at the turn or on hole 19, or get some range balls, or I want to get a new hat in the pro shop or at Dick's or wherever. So it's those things that people, when you're intentional about it, we wanted to get across and say, hey, like, ODIN as a platform, use it in any way you want. Like, if you want to use it for the quality of the ball and that's important for you, great. Or if you just like, hey, I want something to get me through the round that feels good, but also, allows me to go do and have fun, like to be with my friends and do something else, for example. So that's been fascinating seeing, because it's just like the swing. Everyone's got a different swing speed and swing type and mechanics, and it's the same for the course experience. Like, people want different course experiences and consume golf stuff in different ways. So it's definitely very fascinating.
For sure. Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that's kind of like one of the reasons why golf is the, greatest sport out there. There's so many different, types of players. Everyone can play golf if they want to. You know what I mean? Like not everyone can play football. You know what I mean? You can't just go out there and go play a football game. Like you can go make a tee time. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the best parts about golf is there's so many different levels and so many different ways to enjoy the game. Like you said, yeah.
And what's evident about Odin too, it's really clear that you guys aren't just trying to come out and be like the next golf ball brand as much as you're making a golf ball with a culture behind it. And there's a culture that people can get behind and really like feel a part of. And one thing I wanted to ask you about too is the events and the tournaments that you host. What are those like? And can you maybe walk us through one of those?
Yeah.
One of the things before we started Odin, we had a couple of things that we wanted to do. One was, kind of the software background platform for the everyday golfer, high quality balls without denting the wallet. The other thing is we said, look, given we're building for the everyday golfer, we want to meet the everyday golfer where he or she's at the local watering holes, at the local courses. So that means meeting them where they're at. And we incubated this ODIN Social Club, which was a way to get everyone together and around the ODIN experience, what we call it, but it's morphed in kind of cool different ways. And so we hosted tournaments and invited everyone who wanted to come out. And it was basically, we still have it. We have these ODIN days. So someone in our community coined them ODIN days. And they're meetups, essentially tournaments, but it's the golf is great, and we usually make them scrambles, and it's really about getting the band together, because if you want to go compete and gun for the top spot, there's like 100 other places you can go do that. But for us, it was like, hey, come on out. We're all doing the same thing, making content. We all live online. We're all making reels especially us, making reels that no one sees, spending 8 hours editing it, for a 20-second reel. We all like joke about that. And
we've been there. Definitely understand that part of it. For sure,
I mean, it's unbelievable. We're always like, yeah, Zuck. Yeah. Like we're always like commiserating together. And it's influencers, it's people in leagues, it's just regular people. Like we all put our pants on the same way. Like we all love golf. So, so that was the impetus for it. And so, yeah, we have one next week actually, which I'm flying back to the US for, which is cool. So that was those things. And they're mostly in California. Again, we're very small, champagne taste on a beer budget. So very, very lean. But we have a community of people who play Odin and, want to basically sprout these things all over the US. It's just a matter of, getting there and, bandwidth and resources and that sort of thing. So, yeah, they're fun. They're super cool. And it's great. Like everyone's living behind an avatar or a logo. Right. And it's cool it's like what you guys are doing, getting the faces like Mac Boucher getting on. That's very cool. Like a great guy, super cool content, amazing dude. So it's cool to get the story behind it beyond what everyone sees behind a like or a comment, right?
For sure. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what we're doing with the pod too. We like to talk to brands like you, companies that we're interested in. We want to hear the story behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's one of the things too, for the people who might not have seen a reel before or something, and might have just scrolled through and seen an ad for the golf balls. We want them to then see it and say, okay, that's the right price point. I like everything that's there. Purchase it, love it, come out, and then want to see more about you guys and take it to that next level. Go out to an event and just like become a part of that Odin community that you guys are creating, because we've talked about it with other companies as well that we've talked to. And they always say sometimes the best promoters for your products are the people who are actually really enjoying it and liking it. And I can only imagine that all those people who are out there attending these events, playing Odin golf balls, are telling anybody and everybody who will listen about the ball that they're playing.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say candidly, they're, for the ball, especially for the like associating with us and as people and as a brand, I think is less of a hurdle to jump over. But I mean, we run into it because we're early in our journey, and there's a lot of choices out there for the ball specifically. There is an aspect of dubiousness to maybe you grew up playing a Titleist or another brand.
Right.
Consumer is so hard because there's a behavior shift involved, and that's another thing that we're cognizant of, and that's why, for example, we wanted to come out with like always coming out with a full spread of things that people can. We have a ton of people who just come out to the Odin days and just love that. They may not play the Odin ball, but for us, like, that doesn't really matter. We want you to get value. Again, like, I mean, think about a platform company we use, like Google and Facebook. Like, there's a million things you can do with the companies. You may want to make reels as a company, or you may want to run ads, or you may want to just discover new restaurants in your area. Like, there's a million use cases. So that's kind of how we think about it. And obviously it's great if you're playing the ball, because we put a lot of TLC and to make sure it's a great experience. But that's why one of the reasons why we can get into the get paid to play golf sponsorship of us, and I'm sure you guys follow it very closely, like the zeitgeist of the Web3 kind of decentralized, like, rather than, again, not to keep shitting on Zuck, but like one Zuck or one Jeff getting wealthy, there should be a million Zucks or a million Jeffs getting wealthy. And for us, that's important. Like, we as consumers in the future of digital consumption, we're not only going to want a killer product experience from a brand, but we're going to want other benefits on top, like a table spread of benefits. So this was our way of saying, hey, look, if you associate with us as a brand, we give you money back to go use it for anything golf related. Again, you spend a lot of money, or you spend a lot in golf, and we want to give you other benefits on top of it, because we know you could go anywhere to get a lot of the similar things. And then it gets into, again, working towards the true north of gamifying for the everyday golfer and that sort of thing. So that's been cool. And again, like, not everyone will love it. And I think it's like the classic examples, like the Chanel bag or the Rolex. Not everyone's going to be able to buy that. They're not building for everyone. So, but you have to kind of find the 1,000 true fans from the get-go, and then building off of that. So it's very brick by brick. That was the other thing, coming from a software world, where if you release something, you get the instant scale of it. Here, it's brand building, community building. It's very brick by brick. So that was another thing that we had to kind of shed and learn and bob and weave with.
Yeah, drawing a lot of interesting parallels between the tech world that you guys were in before, to the golf industry, talking about Web3 and different utility that you're going to be able to bring with the whole brand. I think that's going to be a big draw for you guys, for sure.
100%.
Do you guys associate with any or tinker with any Web3 crypto stuff or anything in that nature?
So have in the past, for sure. I think your involvement, for sure, and the media company that we work for, the owner of that, his involvement, for sure, was a lot more in depth than mine. I don't know if you want to talk about it a little bit. But.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely still hold some NFTs. I have, my MetaMask and OpenSea account, everything like that. I'm pretty much out of the whole crypto. I feel like you have to devote a lot of time to it to really, be knowledgeable and make smart moves and things like that. We're kind of, like I said, we're building this whole lot of bogeys 5-city media thing. So, but yeah, I definitely still intriguing. Like I said, I still have a bunch of NFTs in my MetaMask, and no. How about you? What are you into as far as that goes?
So we did a small set of Odin founding member NFTs last year with super cool Odin characters. We have a female and a male character, and we did them specifically not about the financial speculation by any means. It was about introducing the golf world, who is very traditional, very stuffy, not tech savvy. We launched those to help introduce the golf world again as a precursor to this get paid to play golf sponsorship of, this is the future of digital consumption. And we help them, like we did custom NFTs we sponsor leagues and clubs. So we did some for them, like Tropicana. You guys are
I was going to say, we hopefully are going to have somebody from them and Electric Golf on soon. So
nice.
You guys up.
Yeah.
I saw them on your website, I believe, as one of the sponsors that you guys do. I was like, oh, that's dope. I was like, it's always cool. It's like 3 handshakes away from somebody. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's cool.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Great guy. Yeah, Big Jimmy's awesome. Big Mike from Electric Golf is cool too. Yeah, just
Mike's
great
who we were
people.
talking to. Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, great guy. He's coming to our Odin Day in a couple weeks, so
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
I'll tell
Yeah,
him you guys said what's up. But
for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
I think it's cool what
it's
he's doing too. He's got like that electric snow as well with the ski and snowboarding goggles. I saw that the one day. I was like, damn, that's pretty sweet.
I know
Cool.
it's
And it's cool
dope.
he's playing Odin as well because he's really big on the marketing and building brands online, it seems. So when I saw him playing Odin as well, I was like, good to see. Definitely got to
Yeah,
look them up.
yeah,
Have them come on.
definitely. Yeah, they're great people, very supportive, and so yeah, so we did have teas for like Tropicana, Babes Golf, Four Gals, some other leagues in Say Par, Derek and Dom, cool guys. Um, and it was hand holding, helping them set up a MetaMask, how to connect to OpenSea, and we showed them this world, and we were met with understandably so, a lot of skepticism and what is this, and can someone just screenshot this, how does the ownership work, like all those things was where we got excited because we were able to, hey, this is how it works. And once they got over the hurdle, they got excited and understood. It was like iPhone 1 and people still wanted their BlackBerry keys and Palm Pilot beaming. It's the early adopter curve from the software standpoint. So it's Web3 as a concept. We like the part of like the decentralized part, building with the community, not about the get rich, die trying type of thing. That's not our jam. But the cool stuff is, and what we're doing now is Web3 concepts and Web2 clothing. So the decentralized giving money back to the community thing. It's not a crypto coin, it's real money. It could be a coin down the line. But we view it as like an economy and an ecosystem, getting money back, and people use the money at courses, and we want to bring money to courses. So there's money and spending between them and value being created. So it's real money. It's not a crypto coin. It could be step in or sweat coin, that sort of thing. So it's cool. It's very fun. It's still incredibly early. I mean, it's just, again, it's the adopter curve. Like people, when iPhone 4 or 5 came out, had a good camera. Okay, I can hop on board here. I'll get rid of my Razor or my Sidekick. That's what it'll be. So we're talking years down the line, and it could be something completely different than NFTs or a crypto coin. It could be fucking VR goggles or whatever the vehicle is at the end of the day to deliver the value.
Yeah, it's awesome to see that like you guys are also helping use Odin, just kind of showcase where golf is heading in the next coming generation and everything.
Right.
Because there's 100% a shift within even the last 3 years in the golf community and getting away from not that there's anything wrong with the traditionalist purist aspect of golf, but just showing that there is another side to it. There is the guy that wants to go out in a Hawaiian shirt, throw some sunglasses on, bucket hat, shoot 125, but come home and has a smile on his face because he had a good time, and it's making sure that golf is inclusive. It's a fun sport, and it's here to stay too. So
yeah, just touching on the get paid to play thing too. I think it's so cool. You're bringing like Web3 concepts, but keeping it, Web2. And like you said, it's real money. It's not people like taking away a lot of the skepticism, and but like you said, all this background that you guys have in software and big tech and things like that, you're bringing these Web3 concepts into Web2 basically, and then I feel like that's only going to help people, adopt into, eventually a Web3 world, for sure.
And it's super cool too, seeing you guys able to use your background before you got into this industry and this market and kind of integrate it and use it to kind of separate you from the pack and build up your brand, because that's one of the things too, where like, as you've said, there's a bunch of other golf ball companies out there, but you guys are truly different and doing something different and taking it in a different direction. So
yeah, I mean, you guys seem really focused on building a community, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of another concept that Web3 has brought about, you know what I mean? Or brought to the spotlight of how important really having a community is with these Odin days, and even going back to getting paid to play type of deal. Like that's really, it seems it's really important. It's important to the consumer too, to feel like they're a part of something, and that definitely sets you apart from anybody like there's no Callaway community or anything like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just I don't see that, you know, I don't see that, but I definitely see that with Odin. I think that's something that more people should focus on. I feel like, you know, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And in a lot of ways, that's the hardest part to get right. And we're, you know, still millions and millions of room for improvement and things to do. It's because it's the one thing that you can't really buy. Like for a behemoth company like that, they can just put money to work. They have a war chest or many war chests. So you have, when starting a company, there was a famous saying that Tony Fadell, the creator of the iPod, said at Apple, you need at least one thing to innovate on when you're starting a new company. In their case, they were innovating on music and 10,000 songs in the pocket, that sort of thing. So you need one thing to innovate on. It could be a product, it could be a business model, it could be a go-to-market. You need at least one thing. So that was the other thing we were thinking about, like what's one thing, one wedge that we could carve out in the market and you know, kind of build on top of that and expand the value that way. I will say for the Web3 crypto stuff, which I think predominantly lived on like Twitter and Discord and some other places, we do have a bit of a Discord community because there were people that bought NFTs and we, you know, we got them involved. We did find very quickly that there was, I think still to this day, it's probably getting better. It may get better. I'm not sure. A church and state with newbies to the Web3 crypto stuff, because it was a bit of a gold rush and that it was hot and people saw dollar signs and there was a lot of nefarious actors and that sort of thing.
For sure.
But we found, you know, weaving the golf world into it, we tried to, you know, steer them away from that of, hey, you're not a believer or you're new, you're a pretender, that sort of thing. So we tried to frame it as, again, this isn't about the speculation, but about like concepts of associating with a brand and getting value out of a brand in ways like you've never seen or thought of before. So that was interesting, navigating those waters. You guys may have seen that too. I mean, Twitter's could be a bit of a cesspool in some ways. I mean, there's good aspects of it. I mean, any social media for that matter. For you guys, you know, building, you know, the 5-city media empire here that you guys are incubating in the pod and the other things, where do you spend most of your time? Is it just all over TikTok, Instagram? What do you like better? What do you like? Where are your guys' jams there?
No, I love that question because ironically enough, we within the last week have kind of not necessarily figured it out, but made it like vocalized it to each other with everyone who's working on 5-City. We were like, it's kind of odd how everyone has their platform where their content is doing better, and that's where we focus, but we still put out all the content everywhere else just as like that second chance for it to gain traction, whether we change the cover photo a little bit, caption, just it's just a second chance for it to get some more people's attention or see a completely different market that might not have seen it before.
For sure. For sure.
Like, example, golf on Instagram, and then F1 is on TikTok, and obviously we're on all the platforms, but like that's where we're most prevalent on each.
Yeah, we also have an MMA thing under 5-City. So
nice.
I feel like, so there's definitely different categories do better on different platforms, it seems. There's a big MMA Twitter community, you know what I mean? The hashtag MMA Twitter is like always either trending or like has a lot of activity under it. So there's definitely things you can pick up on like that too. You know, and I think it just comes from, like Joe said, posting everything everywhere, tweaking things, kind of see what fits better where, and just kind of playing with it like that. But,
and there's like silly stuff too with like just kind of monitoring what you did when it comes to editing the video, how much work you put into it on the app, because I feel like different apps are looking for different things on the algorithm to boost your content. So sometimes it's like maybe you didn't want to write that little couple words in there on Instagram, but it might help because Instagram will see it and be like, oh, they use the app, they're using more features, let's put it out there to showcase the features, maybe more than even the content, right? So
I was gonna say, you're kind of playing a multifaceted game, you know what I mean? You're trying to put out the best content possible, but then you're also trying to figure out the algorithm of TikTok and Reels and, you know, YouTube Shorts, and, you know, like Joe said, oh, if I put captions on this one from the app? Does the app recognize it better and push it out to more people? Who knows? We're just, kind of trying to figure all that out for sure. Like Joe said, it feels like we are figuring that out a little bit.
Getting better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love all the stuff that you guys do in the snippets to, the larger pods. Which is very cool and it's very interactive, and they're great, and keep up the great work there. And I'm right there with you. How that's almost like a lot of ways the most stressful thing, because there's a game to be played with the different platforms. It's unfortunately not make it once and then just spit it out to all the places. There's so many nuances to it. So I give you guys a lot of credit being there. Of this has got to work for TikTok or YouTube Shorts, or I want to post this photo, but I should probably do a reel because they're just they're digging reels more.
Exactly.
So
I don't know if you noticed the Instagram, the Whole Lotta Bogeys page. We post everything, whether it's a photo or a video, as a reel, just because then in turn too, it gets a little bit easier to like see the analytics on it. And sometimes I feel like the likes and shares are obviously very important, but it's the view that you're going for, because just getting in people's head and getting in front of their face is what you want. So seeing that we can post a picture as a reel, and if it's usually what I'm referring to would be the title photo for the actual video that we're going to post, like the thumbnail with a short caption, we get to see exactly how many people viewed it and then therefore are anticipating it, which then obviously has like an analytical correspondence to how the video will do. So
definitely
kind of just to like make sure we're charting how we should be and seeing it firsthand. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to see, like Joe said, for sure. But like you said too, there's a lot of different, I feel like playing multiple different games within this game of trying to figure out different stuff, and it's just a constant, not battle, but a constant,
it's a war.
It's a war.
Bigger than a battle. It's longer.
For sure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the reactionary element of IG, because TikTok has been eating their lunch, I think, in a lot of ways with that. They pretty much nailed the the short-term video, short video content, short snippets videos. So it's fascinating to see how they kind of reacted to it. But yeah, I mean, we're just playing the game and seeing how it progresses over time and in the changes and that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And one thing too, while we're on the topic of social media and everything, I think one of the key factors of the marketing aspect for Odin is how you guys market your ambassadors as well. Like on your website, how you guys showcase exactly who you're working with, little information about them so that you can go view their content, where then they're pumping out like positive stuff about Odin. Because like Thick Gabagool, for example, loves the ball, guy's hilarious, ton of fun to watch. And he's selling the product, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like that's the guy who you want holding the Odin golf ball, talking about it, right?
Exactly.
And I think that also separates you from a lot of these companies, in that you want your ambassadors to do well, as in turn it has a direct correspondence to how well Odin will do. So
yeah, exactly. And I feel like one thing that we've talked about recently is how important like to have people like that are, like these influencers, that like it's almost even more important than having a PGA Tour player, you know what I mean? Because those people have such hardcore followings and hardcore fans that are like, willing to purchase any product that they use, or if they say it's a great product, they have, like I said, a really good set of fans that are going to, follow them, you know what I mean? As opposed to a PGA Tour professional who, might have that too, but I feel like these influencers have so much more influence, I guess you could say, you know what I mean?
It's because the influencers are posting more often and they're marketing themselves, which then in turn obviously helps market the ball. So it's
exactly.
Awesome.
For sure.
Totally. I was going to say, if you're going to have a guest on, Thick is probably the most fitting one. He's a character. He's also, we're doing an Odin Day in 3 weeks in Southern California. He's going to be there. What we do is we usually do like an after barbecue. He makes a full spread, and
that's awesome.
Incredible. Yeah, it's just, again, like the golf is great, but it's about breaking bread and getting everyone together.
That community vibe.
The community vibe. So Yeah, he's always like, you gotta try this breakfast burrito or this breakfast sandwich, or he's posting about like baked coarse bacon, like talking about the crisp factor and that sort of thing. Like that stuff is cool. It's just
100%.
And that was something we wanted to do, like in our marketing, like reload without the guilt, go balls out always, like how we would speak on the course, like not some over elaborate, specs of the balls and stuff that no one understands, just brass tacks utility. In fact, on our site, like for the X ball for player fit, we have donates a lot to the lake. Yeah, that's something we all can vibe with. We know 100%. That, and not like triple crossed, 3 times over. Some crazy term. I don't know, fill in the blank, but it's so just make it easy to understand, and also, but convey the value. Like that's something like, hey, I'm losing all of them here. That's something that that's like painkiller versus vitamin, again, to use that framework. So it's cool. It's hard as hell, but you just have to keep your feet moving.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah, I feel like that kind of plays into like the new age of golf as well, making it more inclusive, easy to understand. Make people feel comfortable entering the game of golf and things like that too. So I think that's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a little bit off topic, but just kind of a funny question for you that I was wondering, when you're playing at some of these events where like ODIN balls are being played and you're looking for a ball that might have gotten a little bit left or a little bit right on you, have you ever found yourself finding an ODIN ball that might not have been the ball that you were playing, and like is that a cool feeling, or is that funny, or what's that like? Just seeing your ball in the woods that wasn't yours, you know what I mean?
You mean I myself find like an ODIN ball by happenstance, or
exactly?
Yeah. It hasn't happened to me personally. By the way, I'm happy to do it because it's marketing material. So if I lose an ODIN dart,
exactly,
someone else
somebody's gonna pick it up, play it. Hopefully they hole out.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Again, reload without the guilt.
Exactly.
There are a ton of people who've said like, yeah, I saw an ODIN ball like in the bushes somewhere, and so we've had other people do that. But for ourselves, we haven't come across that yet. I guess if that happens, then you've made it, at least maybe to a certain extent.
Definitely.
There's still a ways to go, but yeah, it's cool to see that, and people will say the ball looks great because it's different than the other ones. It's not like calligraphy or something, fancy looking writing. It's ODIN, it's bold, it's edgy, it's in your face.
Yeah.
So it sets apart from, I don't need to mark it up. It just, no one else is playing ODIN but me, or that sort of thing is cool.
Right. I was gonna say, I think the first time I saw the ODIN golf ball, I'm like, that looks amazing. I'm like, that logo looks amazing on a golf ball. You know what I mean? I think that I was like, that's funny that you brought that up, because I think that was literally the first thing I said when I saw your golf ball. I was like, wow, their logo looks like it's supposed to be on a golf ball. You know what I mean? So that's awesome.
For sure.
That's awesome.
After this, I'll send you guys some. Then when you do get out there, when you go down south, you can try them out.
Definitely. Sure, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Love to putt around with them too. And we have a
the sim
golf dome, but the problem is that we had this Buffalo storm that happened, and it decided to blow away our golf dome. So
there's
we got to wait for it to back up.
Yeah, 2 in the area.
Holy
both are currently destroyed. Yeah,
but we'll be able to take the balls out to the links golf and tap, take them out on the TrackMan simulators, play some rounds with them.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people who are in winter climates who are doing that. Like they're trying out the balls, and they get to see the numbers too, which is very cool, and compare it to some of the other ones they've done. So it's cool. You make the most of it. I love hearing you guys are still getting in the sim and scratching that itch and getting your fix in. It's very cool.
100%.
For sure. Have to, right? Absolutely.
So speaking about playing too, what's in your bag? What's the bag looking like? What do you pair up with the ODIN golf ball?
Up until recently, I was playing clubs that I had in the 90s.
Okay.
So,
nice.
But they started breaking. The fiberglass started spraying everywhere. So I had to upgrade. I have a ping bag that I found at a dumpster. It's a cool like retro ping bag.
Well, that's
People are always
awesome.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, did you spend a fortune on this like on eBay or something?" I'm like, "No, I found it in a dumpster in the 90s, and
$3.99.
it's a Stanford bag, and it's cool." And I always tell people like, "Yeah, this was Tiger's bag back in the day."
Oh.
It wasn't, but
Hey, you never know.
Could have been,
yeah, you never know. Yeah, he tossed it. So yeah, it was, I think my grandparents' apartment complex dumpster was just sitting there. I was like, all right, great.
That's awesome.
So that's the bag, and then the clubs. I recently upgraded. I bought reduced. They re-released them tailor-made irons. I think they're M4s.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
It's like the ones that they had 6 or 7 years ago, but they were so popular they re-released them. But I bought the floor models, so they were cheaper, and I didn't get them
100%.
fitted.
Save money where
I
you
know.
can. Why not?
I know. There you go. Yeah. So for building a golf company, you'd think I'd get the Rolls Royce of clubs and all that, but I guess habits never die. So so those are the clubs, and then it's a burner driver that's I think 10 or 12 years old, something like that.
He still plays it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, there we go.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I love that driver. Actually, I had a different one and then I switched it because the shaft. I like the length of the shaft better. I remember I took it the first. It's funny. The first time I went down to the Outer Banks to golf, right before it, I was like, I really like the feel of this driver. Never hit a ball with it. Only brought that driver to the Outer Banks and ended up loving it. But yeah. That's awesome.
That's the beauty and the gloriousness of golf is that we always have memories that we hold on to. It could be a club, it could be a tee bag, it could be a golf bag itself, it could be a towel that you had playing at the track you grew up learning to play at. There's always like those items. So hearing you talk about that driver and seeing your face light up like that's part of what makes the game so great, that everyone has those items or courses that they played at, or maybe they had a great round and that sort of thing. So it's cool to hear different people's items or events or whatever that they always grab onto and think about.
Definitely, for sure. And hitting on, you said that you got the M4 irons, so like the on-floor set that like hits on the fact too that we still like to this day always are going out looking for any type of deal, because we just collect clubs in general too. Like if you find a club for $10 and it's something that you think you'll hit once or twice at the range for fun, there's a lot worse things you could spend $10 on. You know what I mean? Like at least you got a club out of it. So
for sure.
Yeah. That's so. Do you guys change the bag often then? If you buy, if you see a club for $10, do you cycle through clubs and switch it around, or do you have just a quintessential central set that you have?
Not really. I'd say me personally, I play like the Nike CCI forged irons, and then the Nike Vapor Pro driver. Wedges are like a mismatch. That's probably what gets flipped around the most is I don't have a wedge set specifically. It's like I do a full faced high toe for the sand just to give me more face to hit if I'm trying to make good contact there. I have SM9 or SM7 Vokey 50 degree because it's just, I don't know, it's like one of those clubs that you look down, it's real thin top line and everything. I enjoy that club. And then I have the Cleveland I don't remember the model to be exact, but it looks exactly like the Vokey. It's like Cleveland's version, but
yeah. I was gonna say I keep it pretty standard too, is I don't really I mean, I feel like golf is such like a do what you're comfortable type of thing. You know what I mean? So I feel like if I were to switch too much, I might get even in my own head, even if the clubs were like better than the ones I have now, I might get in my own head a little bit. I have Mizuno JPX 800 irons.
Something like that.
And then I got a 49 that came with a gap wedge. So I have a 49, a 54, and then a 60 as far as the wedges go. And then I have a Big Bertha 5 wood. I have an M1 3 wood, and then the driver that we talked about. Yeah.
An example of one of those like $10 clubs we pick up is I don't know if you saw, we did a test video where we hit a 1970 Wilson Dynapower 2-iron. The face is the size of a golf ball, and we were just trying to see how far we could hit it. I think the furthest it went was 184 on the simulator or something.
You got the 184 out of it.
You got to.
No kidding. I'm gonna go watch that. I'm gonna go watch that.
Yeah. It's good for sure.
Because that
Is
club
that on
you hit
YouTube
it-
or?
I think it's on both.
Instagram. Oh yeah, probably both. Honestly,
Instagram
but
and
yeah.
YouTube.
Okay, cool. I'll check that out. That sounds sick. Yeah,
Definitely. I
that's
think
cool.
it's probably on TikTok as well. I don't know
Yeah.
if you're on there, but yeah.
It's a funny club though, that 2-iron, because if you hit it anywhere but dead center of the face, you get that vibration like it was an aluminum bat off the tip or something in your hands. You gotta shake them
I
out
was
for
gonna
a
say,
second.
yeah, it's
terrible.
Yeah.
it's definitely an interesting club. Yeah,
But when you catch it right, it feels great.
it does. It's not bad. Yeah. But the face is the size of a golf ball for sure. You know what I mean? It's definitely a butter knife as far as difficulty goes.
We got the
Oh,
1-iron in that model too, so hopefully do a
Oh,
1-iron
yeah.
challenge with it one day. We want
Yeah.
to take them out to the course and do like a 1-iron only hole play video where it would be like you got to drive with it, chip with it, putt with it.
Definitely.
Those
Yeah.
are fun.
Where'd you pick those up?
Those are like antique store Goodwill finds where they're somebody brought them in and they're $1.49 or something. And when you see a good looking Wilson blade for $1.50, you may as well just pick
Why
it
not,
up, throw
right?
it in the throw it in the pile of clubs in the corner, and you'll look at it one day and enjoy it.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. How will you guys go out with the intention to like a Goodwill or a rummage sale or a used store with the intention of getting clubs, or you just happen out and you're like, hey, this looks cool?
No, it's intention of clubs. Like we go there looking for like specific ones. Like I want to get a Ben Hogan set of blades. I think that would be really cool, like an old 90s, 80s set. And it's really hard to find them at a reasonable price where I'm trying to pay $12. You know what I mean? Like I'm never going to really play with them. I just want them for a collector's aspect and to look at them and maybe regrip them one day, take them out once a year for some fun. And it's also kind of that thrill of the hunt when you're going through looking, and it might take a year and a half to piece it together. But when you get the last one you're missing, I think on that Wilson Dynapower set, we're missing like 7 and 8. And we'll probably go in the next week and look for a 7 and an 8. But
yeah. And then do you have like a couple local places that you always go to, or?
Yeah, there's just like in the area, I'd say there's like 3 or 4 little thrift shop type places that are worth checking out. But
definitely check them from time to time, see what comes in for sure. Definitely.
Will you tell them like, hey, if this comes in, like give me a call, or?
We should. I never thought of that, honestly. It's more because it's back to that thrill of the hunt. You never know what you're going to see there. And most of the time, if I'm being honest with you, it's all garbage. Like it's not worth looking at. But so that one time you find something cool, it's like, oh yeah, I was going to say,
we went to one the other day and we walk in, we see like a Pebble Beach hat, like all these like crazy golf like hats, and we were like, oh my god, this is the place, we're gonna find something sweet. Found nothing.
No golf clubs there. I was like, what?
Found nothing. We thought we were like, it's a good omen. Like I think we saw, what did we see? Torrey Pines hat too. They were like,
oh sick.
We're like, oh, we're definitely gonna find clubs here. Didn't find anything, but
I think we were there for like 5 minutes left. Really, but it was so
great. In 5 minutes and left.
Yeah, it's crazy how stuff makes it. I mean, think about like other things like vinyl and other analog type things. It's crazy how stuff just get recycled.
For sure.
What so back to the ball a little bit. I had one question about the testing aspect. How long was the testing process on the balls, and what was it? Were you guys looking at it from I'm sure like the analytical standpoint, but what were some of like the co-founders, you and your boys, what were you guys looking for? Like, was it different guy to guy? Like, were you like, I want a ball that I really enjoy putting with, and someone else was, I want a ball that I really enjoy off the tee, or what I'm trying to say? What was that like?
There were check boxes that we wanted to hit, like compression numbers and that sort of thing, which are important. And some people want them and are curious about them, and it's important for them. USGA, approved standards, that sort of thing. For us, it was about the utility of it. The good news is the 4 of us are, different handicaps, swing speeds, build types, style of play, been playing all different types of years and all sorts of variations. So it was great because we were able to get a sample size for the different ball types. And it was really hovering around the utility that each of us would get. Like, for example, I wanted something that could fit like my heavy draw. I mean, that's a little generous. My hook that could fit my swing speed, my driver speed, and my putting. And that's how does it feel off the putter? So we kind of, what is the utility we want to get? And then we work backwards from that. And we tested with our manufacturing partner, like all different types. And when we were comfortable, like, hey, this is great. And we did have, friends and family who are sticks and are really great and are used to playing, TP5s and Pro V1s and that sort of thing, and know what they're getting out of them. Us, maybe not so much, but them. So that was also a litmus test that we wanted as like a beta, like, hey, try these out, let us know what you think.
Right.
And that was, and we just, again, like, just brass tacks utility, and are we comfortable in getting value out of it? And then there were a lot of people that said, I don't know what's happening here. Like, I'm sure this is a great ball, but I'm happy to be here. Like, I'll test it and that sort of thing. So it's not a one size fits all, but we were fortunate enough to be able to do that, and out of the gate, people liking them and coming back, which is great.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that is awesome.
Definitely.
So just another question I had for you. What's like the coolest place you might have seen Odin go to, if that makes sense? Like if somebody sent you like maybe a DM or a photo on their story of them playing an Odin ball real far away from where you guys are located, what was like the coolest place you saw Odin make it to?
There was a guy, Chris, shout out Chris Oosthuizen. He lives in Japan. He's an expat, eclectic guy. Like, he grew up in Utah, ran a golf course in Utah, and lived in Asia a bunch. Older guy, lives in Japan. He's like, hey, I want to bring the ODIN Social Club to Japan. Like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's go balls out. He sent us an email in the very early days. And so that was very cool. And then I remember he was traveling to the Netherlands, and this is like when we first launched, and like had a very small batch of balls. And he's like, hey, I want to try the balls out. So we sent him balls to his hotel in Amsterdam, and he got them, and he brought them back to Japan and played them and loved them. We'd love to be able to serve that market and that sort of thing. We just very limited on bandwidth and resources. So just US focused. Eventually we'll make it over there. And there are other places all around the world. Like, they'll hear us on a podcast or something, or Instagram. They'll see us like, hey, can you ship to Oslo, or can you ship to Sweden, or that sort of thing? We could, but it's just, economically is a little bit difficult. So those kind of things are cool. And I think the delight and why we get up in the morning is just people having a great experience. Like, hey, I love the ball, or I love what you guys are doing, or I loved how you, like, on one of your reels, you talked about what your ideal course hot dog is, or like those kind of things.
The important thing.
Exactly.
The important thing, and what's the bun to meat ratio like, that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. Spicy, irregular mustard. So those are the kind of things that we like hearing. Other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything extravagant. Not cool, yeah. I think the Japan thing probably was cool because it happened so early. Like, I don't know how we had maybe like 100 followers on Instagram. I don't know how he found us, but it was cool, and that's what kind of keeps you going.
Definitely.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like Japan, or I would say golf, is such a big market all over the world, especially Asia and Japan, and there's a huge golf community out there. Definitely.
100%. I think the Japanese golf community is really what's the word? There's an unprecedented love for golf there that like you really wouldn't see anywhere else. I don't know,
like a passion for it.
Yeah,
it's like hard
much
to find
more,
for sure.
There's a certain level of status even involved with like the clubs you get, the ball you play, and everything. So I mean, it's really cool to see people in Japan want to play the ball, and hopefully you guys being able to get into that market eventually, because very, very cool. And there is, like Jared said, a huge market over there for golf.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And how about for you guys, being in the digital sphere, do you have cool stories like, hey, someone was in Uzbekistan, it's like, oh, this is, or something random like that?
I was gonna say the one thing that it is cool to like look at our YouTube analytics to see like where the people are watching. Like, it's kind of like, I think 14% of our viewers on our YouTube videos are like in Indonesia or something like that, or like some country that would be like, that you wouldn't even think of. Like, obviously there's like the UK and Canada and the United States, but it's really cool to watch like the analytics come through and see like where people are watching. You know what I mean? Because that's
Mhm.
that's something that always blows my mind. Is
Which-
seeing like Indonesia or a country like that. You know what I mean? Like wow, like people are seeing my face over there. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
which comes from like the media page and YouTube posts everything. So
Right.
you get viewers who aren't just watching the golf content, but they're watching clips from MMA fights and they're watching F1 videos as well. So you really do see a very melting pot type viewership and where everyone's coming from to see.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's cool. That's super cool. Yeah, I think it's great. There was one, I was just thinking there's another occasion like in Fiji, there was some like golf course that said, hey, they wrote in, hey, can we put our logos on your balls or something? I think there was like another something like that. It's cool. Like whether or not you'll get there, for you guys, it's great. You put it out there and anyone can see it and get value out of it, which is awesome. And yeah, I love that. That kind of stuff is very cool.
Definitely.
Hearing courses want to put their logo on your ball too that's a 10 out of 10 decision right there, because I'm sick of seeing pinnacle golf balls at every course in the world. And I want something a little bit better if I'm going to take it out and never play it. If it's sitting on the shelf, whatever. But I mean, if you have ODIN balls with your logo, I'm playing them. So
I don't know where we were. I won't even name the course if I knew it, but I found a ball from the course on when we were playing. And I was like, oh, sweet, I found the ball. And I turned and it said Pinnacle. And I was like, hey, come on. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right.
I think Pinnacle had the resort course market course completely.
Yeah,
it was a resort course. Yeah, we'll get there at some point. Yeah, it's I mean, there's for sure there's a margin cost thing there, cheap, and then they mark them up, with the logo. So yeah, it's but I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Sure.
We have to flip it on its head.
Definitely.
So one thing I wanted to comment on too is the hoodie you're wearing, the ODIN hoodie.
Yeah.
Do you see maybe in the 2023 year, seeing maybe like an apparel accessory type line being fully available for everybody, or?
We do want to get, because we get that a lot, like, hey, I love the balls, can I rock a hat? Or these are what I'm wearing are prototypes that we were testing, and we tested polos out and that sort of thing. I think for us, we've just viewed those as just vehicles, not so much as, again, like building an apparel brand or that sort of thing. So hopefully this year, the other thing that we get like constantly now is, hey, when are you going to make yellow balls? That's a big thing. That's a big thing we get. The other thing we got is, can you put the paint splatter on the balls as well?
All right. Yeah.
Oh, from the box packaging. Yeah.
I love
the packaging, by the way. And one
thank you
appreciation that we had was on your website, you listed the exact colors. So in case anybody was ever going to make like cover art for something, they could really line it up, match stuff up, and make sure that the quality was there. And it's the stuff like that we appreciate being in the content space.
For sure. Yeah. Creating the media around it. Yes. We saw the color numbers. We're like, we were going to use that in the thumbnail. For sure.
Well, I'm glad someone saw that. I didn't think anything was going to dig into that, but that's like the 10%. That's actually the 10% that keeps you up. It's like, is this letter correct on this reel that no one will ever fucking remember or see?
Exactly.
No one remembers a reel that they saw last Tuesday, let alone where you're gonna what shade of pink is this R gonna be?
Exactly. I was gonna say, it's same thing with like editing videos. It's like you watch a video like 12 times over, making little different cuts, and it's like, wait, no one's gonna even notice that I did that. You know what I mean?
But it's we care, and
exactly, you have the passion for it.
I applaud you guys for it 100%. It's funny, again, like this is the kind of stuff we at like ODIN days that we like joke with people, and like same exact stuff. Like we're all in the same boat. Like, like I spent 2 minutes editing this reel, 14,000 views, 9 hours, 14. Same boat. It's funny. Like, and these are people with, some of them with tens, 20, 60,000, and then there's like us, like little measly, 1 or 2,000, like nothing. It's same thing, same exact thing. So it's that it helps you have perspective on things that even they go through the same things. They may be different in their journeys and their timelines. And everyone's got a timeline and journey, of course. So it's always good to keep those things in perspective. And I'm glad someone saw our color wheel as well. That's I will sleep soundly at night knowing that the RGB colors of our brand.
100%. You know all the numbers. Yep.
Yeah, it was whenever we do these brand spotlights, I like to call them, or the interviews, I try to do some research, as does Jared, on the brand, just like looking into everything. And when I saw that, it's those things make my job easier too, and like trying to make sure I get like some good questions and some good information coming in. And I don't know, it's the little things for me, and I did like that.
Definitely.
Nice. Sure. Yeah. And so for you guys this year and on the horizon, I know you talked a little bit about it. What's on the roadmap?
Ironic you asked, because that is one of the questions we had right here for you as well. But we'll answer you first. We were going to say
we could trade roadmaps here.
Yeah, 100%. So I think what we're most looking forward to, or what I'm most looking forward to, I'll say, is we partnered with 18 Birdies at the end of last year, the app for like a rangefinder substitute, with also like a AI swing coach and like a personal caddy you get via the app to do short video content for them, and also get to use the premium features that they hooked us up with. And we'll get a code to give out to everybody who wants to try out 18 Birdies and use the premium features. And we are going to be doing like a East Coast, a little bit up into Canada tour of some golf courses, showcasing what the 18 Birdies app can do, while also making our content playing. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then
I was going to say, yeah, I'm definitely really excited for the on-course content that's coming.
Sure.
We recently brought on another media production guy, our good friend Austin is going to be helping us, with the on-course, riding in the golf cart with the camera. So I think it's going to be a real big step up with that kind of thing. And yeah, that's definitely what I'm most excited for. Yeah. Sure. What about you though?
Great.
Kind of want to hear the roadmap for ODIN.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. One thing I was going to ask, when you guys do the on-course content, do you tell the course ahead of time, hey, we're going to do content, or do you just go out and keep the pace of play up and balance it?
That's a good question. So you see the bigger profile content creators in the golf space, I'm sure most of them are going to be reaching out to the course ahead of time, trying to maybe set up a time, get a couple tee time slots so you have the time to record and do everything. But we haven't done that yet. And whenever we do our on-course content, it's kind of like, all right, camera's on you. If you get the shot, you got the shot. If you didn't, forget about it. Don't worry. You'll finish out the hole, try again on the next hole. Right. We golf every single day pretty much, and if not every other day. So there's always an opportunity to get content. So we try to not worry too much about getting shot to shot and like having to call the course ahead of time for space and time to really like get the right shot, if that makes sense. But
I think having a second guy on the camera will help us with that
for
this
sure.
year.
You won't be running back and forth, hitting record and zooming in. And
exactly. But like Joe said, it's kind of like okay, let's see how this shot goes, and if it doesn't go great, whatever, we'll either use it or let's just move on to the next hole. And it's kind of how everything from us is going to be pretty real. We're not sitting there on
WWE of golf.
We're not sitting there on a green for 20 minutes trying to make a putt, because we don't have the time to do that.
There's somebody behind us who would get really, really mad.
Right. Exactly.
So there's no point.
Exactly. Keep playing very real golf over here. That's for sure.
And it may literally turn to the WWE if people are waiting 20 minutes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's like hitting on just like the name of our channel too, like Hole Lotta Bogeys. We're not out here telling you we're two sticks that are going to go scratch golf every course we go play, go under if the course is easy. We're just telling you we have a whole lot of fun and make some bogeys on occasion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all right.
Exactly.
It's all about the being relatable, right?
100%.
Definitely. Because I don't know. The thing I keep in my mind when I'm whether the situation that comes to mind is like when you're on the tee box and someone's watching it, it's like everyone sucks at golf, man. Like, don't worry about it. You want to be that relatable. Like, that's kind of we're just trying to be like, we're not trying to hide anything. We're just trying to be ourselves when it comes to golf. You know what I mean? Because that's what everybody is.
Yeah, for sure. It's that I have like cold sweats thinking about it, trying to film and play at the same time. It's great you guys have someone to follow you with the camera.
For sure.
That is like, I still haven't cracked that nut, because you're trying to like play, which is hard in itself mentally, trying to film something. And I know there's the G pods and that sort of thing, but sometimes you want to get other angles as well, not just like behind. You want to get like more interactive, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's
imitate
definitely
a dolly shot, that sort of thing.
Oh,
I wish, but yeah, it's tough, man. It's super tough. But you just have to work with what you got, and if you get it, great.
100%.
As they say, you can just edit it in post, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you said with that baptism by fire thing. You just got to get out there and you got to do it, and you got to keep trying and figure out what system works for you. Because that was another thing too. By the end of the fall, when we were making this content, because we also started a little bit late in the on course video content last year, because we were focusing more on the podcast, then realized we're playing so much golf. Why aren't we recording it? So I don't know. It was what's the right way to explain it? We found the learning curve, let's say. And then once we got on that, it was smooth sailing.
Yeah.
We were able to get into a rhythm where it was boom, boom, boom. This is what you do. Boom, boom, boom. This is what I do. And I think that the quality in the content also just skyrocketed after that, from as comparison to end of summer to end of fall.
Yeah.
Those couple months made a big difference for sure.
Do you guys plan ahead, like, hey, we want to do a 1v1 on these 3 holes, or do you just go out, film everything, and then figure it out later?
So it's a little 50-50, I would say. It depends. Most of the time, we have a general idea of what's going to be filmed when we get out there, whether it's like, we have 4 guys today, we're going to do a 2v2 scramble, or last year it was more like we were just going for like reels and shorts content. So it was just, I need you to get this shot and kind of try to track the ball, and then we'll finish out the hole from there, or do a walkthrough hole. But this upcoming season is where we're going to get more into that 2v2 scrambles, 4-way 1v1s, just more in-depth on-course content. But back to the where we separate ourselves, that's where we got the brand highlights, interview course walkthroughs, a whole bunch of fun stuff. So definitely.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's I think we had to take a step back when we were at the beginning of being able to do the content, especially the reels and that sort of thing. Pictures a little bit different, but understanding there are like a lot of big YouTube, like Rick Shields, for example. Like, you're not going to be Rick Shields, or we're not going to be Rick Shields from the get-go of he's got a full camera crew, I'm sure, and rents the course out, whatever. There's just it's a full production.
It's like 12 golf carts behind him when he's playing.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's not, like, we don't need to go do that. Like, play to the hand we have now. It may not be the Rolls Royce of content we want to get, but just build on it and just keep building on it. And yeah, that's how you learn. And then the editing and that sort of thing. So that was one thing that I think we learned. It was stressful because, like, you want it to be great and that sort of thing, but it's just, plus you're trying to play, like, we don't have a film crew. Like, I gotta take the phone out of the pocket, swipe up, try and get someone shot, and then hit my shot, and then the pace of play. It's incredible what you got, right?
Right. It's incredibly hard to make, like, good cinematic content by yourself while golfing. Like, you just got to think about way too many things, you know what I mean? And then, you have 12 different thoughts in your head, and, the 15th thought is your shot. You know what I mean? You're thinking about the camera behind you, is it focused? Is it this or is it that? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely difficult. Yeah.
I was thinking about when you mentioned you just fucking reloading on putts, like, I'm doing a vlog, and then you just, like, you have a 10-footer, and you like you can't make it work. You're just like, hey, okay, get this one, get this, and it lips out, and there's people waiting. I was thinking, like, numerous occasions. Okay, we're not vlogging this. Fuck it. We're done. Like, take the keys. We're done here.
Yeah.
I think one of the things too is sometimes I feel like people enjoy seeing, like, those blooper double bogey reels, because there's this one video that we posted last fall, and I remember I caught it right off the toe. I was also aimed right, and it just very shanky shot, and I turn around, look at the camera, and I'm just like, I was like, that's it, done. And that I'm pretty sure at one point was the most viewed of our, like, original content that we had. Since now it's been surpassed, but it was funny at the time. I was like, of course, that's the one people like, is the one where I'm pissed.
Well, yeah, because it's like, you want, like, going back to the relatable thing, you want to post stuff that's relatable, you know what I mean? Because everyone's shanked one off the toe, or, you know, Hoswell shanked one into the woods, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? You definitely want to include that stuff too, because it's how it is. It's real. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's funny, like we're all in the same boat, same stuff. So it's it feels nice to kind of jam and shoot the shit on that, because it's super hard to get right. But you know, little by little, and I love what you guys are doing. I'm stoked for the on-course content. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, we're stoked for it too. It's gonna be sweet, and I think one of the other things too is like working with guys like you. We ever in the area, you're in the area, and we can work something out. Getting to do a round together would be awesome. And I mean, just doing it with like every brand we talk to, we want to eventually reconvene and play around and just go a little bit more in depth with the interview and face to face.
I was gonna say a video style like that. I think I mentioned at the beginning, where, you know, we're playing around, asking you a few questions, just shooting the shit, because I feel like that's like we've talked about it on this podcast too. Like that's what golf is about. You know what I mean? Not exactly going out there shooting a number, but, you know, going out there with your boys, you know, shooting the shit and, you know, fucking just having fun.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, I'm stoked. Yeah, well, I can't wait to hit the sticks live at some point.
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. But like you said, it's you know, great to hear someone, you know, just to talk like this, and you know, hear that we're like a lot of the facing the same, you know, problems or issues or whatever, and you're doing the same stuff. You know what I mean? It's awesome to hear. It's been great.
Yeah.
So what's 2023 looking like for ODIN? What do you guys got planned?
The big thing for us is scaling and growing the Get Paid to Play Golf sponsorship. So we launched it last summer for leagues and clubs, and we built it general purpose so that it could work for anyone. And then late last year, we opened out to anyone. So you go to the site, you buy a dozen, you get 20% sponsorship payout back to your PayPal or Venmo. So $4 for the X, $7 for the X1, and then you can use it for anything golf related. The other thing we have coming soon is an ODIN card, a digital ODIN card that lives on your phone that gets topped off with the sponsorship payouts, and then you can use it at any course, which is cool. On green fees, reloads, hole 19, pops and grub lessons, that sort of thing. So that's coming soon, and that's the big thing. I think it's classic startup conundrum. Like, you want to do 100 things, but you really have to pick a couple and just, as we say, go balls out always on them, and you'll get to the other stuff. But that's why, like, ruthless prioritization and that sort of thing, because we don't have the luxury, you know, champagne tastes on a beer budget and limited people and so many hours in the day, and it's just that's what we have to work with. So those are the big focus areas. And then obviously the balls, of course, you know, getting those in more people's hands and getting people value that way. But it's really just giving money back to the community, and then for them using it for all things golf, which we're excited about.
That's so cool. Just keeping the money in the golf community too, in the sense of bringing it to the course, which is going to help make sure that you have a local to go to, and that there's like places to go to in the future. Because I believe there was a problem like 10, 15 years ago when golf was on the decline and a lot of courses were closing. Like even some of the big resort courses within our area used to have 2, 3, and now they just maintain 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I think now with the change in the golf community and the golf industry, we're not going to be seeing that. And if anything, we'll probably be seeing more courses.
Right.
And it's really cool. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah. Just hitting on that seems like a very Web3 aspect to me. I love that that's still incorporated. You know what I mean? And I feel like
digital cards.
Yeah, exactly. Like
awesome.
And like Joe said, keeping the money in golf, you know what I mean? It's going directly back to, you know, these local golf courses. Like you said, you can use your card at any golf course, and that's just awesome. Seriously.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the big focus area. And then obviously we want to, you know, try and get like yellow balls and that sort of thing, you know, down the pipe. And then the other thing is just, you know, this is to me like one of the more fun things, that you're just jamming and shooting the shit with you guys, and hearing about all the exciting stuff that you guys are building, and being able to help and support that. And even if it's a small way, but just, you know, being there for you guys and hearing about it, like that's the cool stuff that we like doing. And so I'm excited for you guys. Like, this is very cool. And I didn't know about the 5 city, media arm, which is super cool too. I think that's great. And the MMA and some other pods attached to it. So it's cool. I applaud you guys, and I know you have a full-time gig as well. As well.
No, it means
so
a lot.
Really.
Really.
So it's full plate over there for you.
100%. And the 5 City, I mean, we treat it like a second job. It's a full-blown LLC. I mean, it's been growing in the last year. I think we got to about 24,000 subscribers on there now.
Wow,
so
nice.
It's definitely growing at a rapid rate because we utilize every aspect of YouTube with shorts and long-term or long content, short form content. So
absolutely,
it's really cool, and it's been a fun journey, and it's not over. So
for sure.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the kind words. I mean, it really means probably more than honestly. And can't say enough about Odin as well. I think you guys are doing a lot as far as separating yourself from other golf ball companies with you're drawing all these parallels from the tech industry and the Web3 and everything like that. All this stuff you have planned for the future, the digital cards, and you already did a little NFT project. I think that's awesome, seriously. And I think you're doing a lot to separate. Like you said, there's 10,000 golf companies. You know what I mean? A lot of them don't seem to do much that separates themselves between the others, but you guys definitely are. You know what I mean? It's apparent for sure.
And sponsoring the customer, that's, I mean, get paid to play.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's the coolest thing of all time.
Come on.
Yeah.
And, money stays in the golf community too. I mean, I can't say enough. Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate all the support. Yeah. And candidly, not all the stuff will work, but you just need a couple of things to build on it. It's like what we were talking about earlier with the reels, like 90% of them may not work, but there's the 10% that gets you to the next milestone of subscribers and engagement, and what works and what doesn't. So that's really the key core tenet of building, and what makes it fun, but also fucking hard as hell and stressful.
Definitely. Definitely.
For sure. But I mean, Jordan, we really appreciate you coming on and giving us some insight into Odin. We had a blast talking to you, and we know that this isn't going to be the only time we speak. I'm sure we'll reconvene and be able to do a pod and hopefully get to swing the sticks in person, have a couple pops, and have some fun. So
for sure. Yeah.
And we're definitely going to reach out to Thick Gabagool about coming on the show as well, because I think he would definitely fit the mantra of what we're looking for. He'd be a good time.
For sure.
I would expect a very big food corner in that one.
Let's go.
100%.
Let's go.
100%.
Oh yeah. But seriously, can't thank you enough I know you got a really busy schedule and everything like that.
For sure. In Germany right now.
I was gonna say all the way from Germany. So I really appreciate it. Yeah. Can't say enough about Odin. I think
excited to try them out too. Definitely bring them to the simulator, putt around with them
for sure.
Take them to the course eventually and swing them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sounds good, guys. Thanks again. It's great to see you and stoked for you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks again for all the kind words. Like I said,
100%.
Everything back to Odin too, for sure.
For sure.
Nice. Right on. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, absolutely.